This is Mad Hatter, and today we're going to build a sorting system. I need a sorting system in my world because my infinite storage system doesn't have a sorter because bedrock, and I really want a sorter. This sorter is going to be a shulker sorter, and it's going to be different than what I've seen around. It's going to be a piston feed tape design, which, hey horse, I'm trying to do my intro. It's going to be a piston feed tape design. It's going to be noisy, but it's going to be iron efficient. And that's important given the current state of iron farms, because you're going to be digging out every block of iron for the entire design. So the goal for this one is to be pretty close to chunk aligned. I'm building it for efficiency right now, not for chunk alignment, but it is possible to chunk line it pretty easily. The other goal is shulker boxes so that I can put them into the infinite storage system and to basically be easy to build. So let's take a quick look. Since I've already shown you a preview, this is what we got. It is a infinite, or it's not infinitely expandable. It can be expanded in this direction as long as you want. It would require some fiddling with this return system, but completely doable. And it looks like this. So let's get started with the build. Okay, to start with, we're going to go to the back far corner, find our corner block in the chunk, and we're going to go over 2 and down 2. And we're going to place a block here. And we're going to place one block on top, and we're going to place a piston facing up. This is going to be our recycler. So the way this is going to work is there's going to be shulkers in the ceiling above my head that I can click on, and then this piston is going to shove a hopper up, and then the hopper is going to go over here and then come down and then go this way and then turn and come this way and go back and forth all day long. And that's how this guy is going to work. So this is an important point. This is going to be what everything is based off of, is this piston, because we can't actually we can't have certain types of the mechanism incorrect if we on this end. The other end is a little bit more flexible, but this end you need to have things positioned correctly. So this is our starting point, 2 blocks off the ground so that we can walk underneath of it, and 2 blocks from the corner of the chunk and 2 blocks from the corner of the chunk. So then the next thing that we need is, if we come over here and over here, we're going to be pushing blocks this direction. So every other block down this chunk, a wall, you can put a normal piston. So this is our piston feed tape pushers for one side. Now we need to do the other side. So the way that this one's going to work is we're going to go 12 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this, we're going to be pushing blocks here. This is push limit. So now I'm going to break that. This is where we are going to stagger. So here I have a piston. It's going to feed down to here, and then I have a block and a piston and a block, just like on the other side. So after playing with this, if you want to get most efficiency, I realize it's going to stick 2 blocks back this way. So if you want to actually fully chunk align it, you guys should move this in 1 block on both sides, but you're not going to get the highest efficiency out of your feed tape because you're going to take 2 away from the push limit. But that's up to you. I'm going to build this one at the highest efficiency. In my world, I'll probably chunk align it and get rid of 2 rows of hoppers, but this is up to you. I'm going to keep moving like this. Sorry, I'm going to place this back the way it was. I just realized that I can't get the redstone torches down or the redstone dust down if I don't violate the chunk border by 1 block. Anyway, so the next step is we're going to place a piston here and a slime block. This is the second to last pusher piston it's lined up with, and then a slime block here. What's going to happen is this piston's going to extend for a while, then this piston's going to extend and retract, and then this piston's going to retract. And that will keep the system from clogging up. It'll also allow us to separate the hopper from the slime block. So now we need to wire up the redstone, and that happens pretty simply by coming out here and then going up and coming down like this. So now you just redstone dust. We're going to place a glazed terracotta here, and that's for the next module. Next module is going to be on top. So the one next to your upward facing piston must be on bottom. The other one can be on top. Actually, no, sorry. This is where I'm confused. I was trying to get it to stick in one chunk, and it won't fit because of this redstone dust line. Now we drop down, and we're going to put a repeater here on 2 ticks. Almost everything's on 2 ticks for this entire build, and then into that. And I realize if you guys are actually thinking about this, the retraction order of these two will be random. The good news is extended pistons can't be pulled, so that kind of solves the randomness of those 2 pistons. So now we're going to do here and a slime block, just like we did before, but this time the pulse extender's really easy. You put a dust here and a repeater here on 2 ticks and a dust here. Pulse extender's done. So now we're just going to repeat this up, down, up, down, up, down, and note your very first one must actually, never mind, no note there. We'll get to it when we come back. So we're going to repeat it for this side, and we're going to repeat it for this side. Future Mad Hatter here, who's editing the video and realized he forgot to record a clip because he's a buffoon. Anyway, let's show you what I made a mistake on. Anyway, if you built exactly as I explained, and if I can fly, you will have this exactly like this. In the future, I learned that that is a bad plan because we need to add hopper locks, and this was at the very end of the video that I realized this. So now I'm patching things up. You need to step down because Alright, the only time you ever get thunderstorms is when you don't want them. So this step down is important for when we lock these hoppers in eventually that will be there. You don't need to worry about it now, I explained later in the video, but the step down is important at this stage just so you don't fight it. And then the next step I forgot to record is we take a block line and we run it over here to where this is at. We break the repeater that I had showed you to place here, and we put a redstone dust line, and then repeater here, both on 2 ticks. There is literally only one repeater in this entire build that's on 1 tick, and we run a line here. So now we place an observer facing up with a block on its face, and this is just for testing. Later we'll use it for a clock, but it's for testing right now. We flip the lever, fires all the pistons, we place a block, flip a lever, fire all the pistons. When it approaches a corner, double check that you have your slime block and all your pistons on 2 ticks, or all your repeaters on 2 ticks. This one, and this one, and this one. So the one before and the one into your next pusher piston. If that breaks, your machine will break. So this is why we're doing a testing with the lever. Pull this lever. You can see it's coming out this way. You just got to keep making sure that they come out and everything will work. So now that you're here and you have all of your hoppers in, some people will say, this is a ton of hoppers for a storage system. Well, this is actually a massive sorter. If you think about it, we have all of these spaces underneath are sorting chests. Every single one of them. And the ones that are not sorting chests are these 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hoppers in the entire thing are not sorting hoppers compared to what you'd have for a normal jam system. So now we're gonna do some more waste. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have this come up and then across and then down. If you were really ambitious, you could have it come up a little ways and then build another layer of this on top and just have it zigzag the other direction and be pushed down here. But I think that is way too many sorting modules for any one person to ever need. So I'm not gonna build it like that. So now I deleted this piston here because it was in the wrong spot. It needs to actually be right here. So up, 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 or piston. That's our shoving piston. There's another option for this. You can push it over 1 block, and that will work just fine. But this is what I'm going to do for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this back. And we're going to basically do what we did on the other modules, except for we're not going to put any delay in. So we're going to go like this, 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 there. Now that pushing up piston should work. See, there it works. Now the next thing we're going to do is we need to have a pushing sideways piston. So we're going to go up, up, and we can't send them across this way because of these repeaters. So we're going to go up 1 more, come around, we're going to place a piston this way. So that's going to shove the blocks over to here. And the way we're going to wire that up is we need 2 ticks more than what this guy has. So we're going to take a look here. And oh, how are we going to squeeze that in? I got one more block here. So we're going to break this, go down by 1, and then up. Squeeze it in here. So now, 2 ticks again. Everything is 2 ticks so far. There's no repeaters on a single tick. If any repeaters on a single tick, you're going to break some stuff. So now, some of you may notice this hopper is going to suck from the hopper next to it. So now, and this one's going to suck from the one above that. So now you got to go through and place blocks. Actually, that one doesn't have to go there. That one can go here, and then this one has to go there. And then one can go on top of that. So what this is going to do is it's going to prevent items from going down. If they go down, then they're going to be trapped in that corner forever. And we don't want trapped items. We want them to go through our system and get cleaned out. So now, I flick this lever, it bounces across. Now I can just keep filling this thing up, and it will just push him over to me. So the way that we're going to do this hopper facing down, it's a little bit, I don't know, I wouldn't call it strange, but it's pretty straightforward, I guess. We're going to staircase up, and we're going to feed this back. And the reason we're going to do that is because it makes the timings easier. You can derive it from here, but it involves a lot of counting and a lot of making sure that you get the right number of blocks, right number of modules, so you get the ticks correct. I find it's just way easier to run a 1 redstone line that has a 2 tick delay. So now we're going to need 1 block and a piston shoving downward. This is what you'll need. I have a concept that I'm working on as well that may use this redstone line, so it's not a waste. Talk about that at the end of the video, but there's an idea here. So now I've got my 2 tick delay, and it comes over here, and I get my 2 tick delay for this. Okay, now I can fill it up. Need 1 more. And now our loop's complete. So the last thing we have to do is to put a clock on it. And this clock, I'm going to be lazy. I can make it fit right here, I guess. So let's do that. Where's the redstone torch? Now we just gotta put a clock on here, I guess, and the redstone torch goes here. So I guess I'll want that. And then alright, so we need an 8 tick clock. So this is 1 tick, 2, alright, so that's 3 total, 4, 5, 6, so 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to set this to 1 tick instead of 3. This is the only repeater in this entire build that isn't on 2 ticks. And then I'm just going to put dust here. And now, you've got an incredible racket machine, but it sorts. This will sort at just under 1.5 items per second, with a minimum or with a maximum sort time to here of whatever the length of your feed tape is, which is 2.5. Or it's 8 ticks per 1 hopper. So 8 ticks per hopper. Count the number of hoppers you have in here, and you can figure out what the maximum time it would take to sort a single item is. So now we need our feed. So actually, we'll get into some of the items, some of the ways that I like to feed this. One of them is we're going to take a dropper. Where's the dropper at? And a hopper. As I've said in the past, if you want to know what block I'm using next, it's whichever one I take off my hotbar. So place this guy here. Crouch place this in. Crouch place. Hopper to feed it. And you can route the water stream or do a shulker unloader or whatever you want. Oh. Of course, I always get the droppers backwards. So place a dropper this way. Nope. This way. And then redstone dust into it. And then you feed from the top, but you can run a shulker unloader or a water stream or whatever you want. Let's just do a chest. Double chest here. This will be our input. We can put whatever we want in here. Let's just grab some random items, whatever you. So now, what we're going to do, first we're going to come down here, place a couple of shulker boxes. It does not matter where you place them. It doesn't matter if you break them out. It doesn't matter if they're not there. You just place them around. It doesn't matter what colors they are. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. Just get them around. So I'm going to treat this like I would my redstone chest. I'm going to put a couple of redstone in there, a couple of repeaters in there, dropper maybe, pistons, sticky pistons, and observers, and maybe some redstone torches. So that's what I'm going to put in there. This one, I'm going to make it my lighting box. And you don't. So we're going to call this our overflow. So now I go up to the top and I'm just going to put all of the items in here. This will not catch shulkers in its current state, but I'll show you what I'm going to do to fix that. So you can also put normal chests or barrels or whatever you want down here. Let's actually add barrels. I've not used them. So you put a barrel here. This will catch your shulkers. So now you can just turn it on. That back a little bit because it is pretty noisy. One thing I'd recommend, you can fit a detector in here facing this way, and then we can put a delay circuit in. I'll handle that in another video, but for now I want to get the sorter out there so that you guys can play with it. We can put squeeze a detector in there, put a redstone line that comes out here, and that can actually stop things. Oh, so just so that you guys are aware, there's a couple of mistakes that I had made. One, you need to lock off these hoppers in the corner, otherwise you won't get perfect sorting efficiency. It only happens near the very end, so I didn't catch it until after the machine was built and after the tutorial was done. The way that you build this is you need to knock out a couple of blocks here and stair step down. So this is important because this redstone block would power here and it would break the system. I had to rebuild it because I broke that, but I didn't build it. I didn't rebuild the entire thing. I just had to punch out a few blocks and recycle some hoppers. But this is important if you want perfect sorting. If you have perfect sorting, you do lose one sorting bay right here. So you're actually just one shy of what I promised. This is what you need to look like on the top. So you have a redstone block locking that hopper, redstone block locking this hopper, and redstone block locking this hopper. So in that case, if I look through here, everything is sorted out beautifully, except for when I first ran the sorter, these grass blocks here were actually here. That was the only issue. Other than that, everything worked perfectly. Well, there you have it. It's a big, noisy sorting machine. You stay one chunk away and it will, you won't even notice it. That's one chunk up, down, left, or right. It'll be silent at that point, but it is a really noisy contraption. Like I said, I promised iron efficient and I promised high density, but the noise is something you got to deal with for this design. The next time I want to make it fast. So right now it sorts at about one item every 8 ticks, which is really slow. I can get that up to 5 items in 8 ticks, but there's some caveats to be had with that. So hopefully you come back next time to see how to speed this thing up. There'll be a couple other ideas that I have on videos in the future around this, but to get started, let me know what you think. I'd really appreciate any feedback or anything that you'd want to see improved on this. I think this is going to be my sorter for the realm I play on. So it does work on a realm. You do have to be careful and shut it off when you leave, just like any other piston feed tape contraption. But if you shut it off when you leave, then it'll just work. So anyway, have a good one.